When I prepare myself a fresh new blank piece of paper, I imagine myself stepping up to a putting green, inspecting the breaks and hills in the grass so that I can perform the perfect putt for a birdie on my scorecard. Maybe I will imagine myself stepping up to the free throw line, visualizing the perfect arc of my shot to advance my team's score in the fourth quarter, so that when I present myself to my two-dimensional blank sheet of paper, I make sure my art can be seen through all dimensions. Like mathematical equations and poetic language, art began in the mind. Art taught me perspective. Before I launched into my art career, I was disillusioned of my innocence due to video games, cartoons, and the media. Everything was too cliche back then. The woman is never the main character because she can only serve as an eye candy or damsel in distress. The dark skin was never the main character, but the insignificant addition so that there was diversity. Sexualities and sexual identities were never explored. The thought of women in power were laughable, and apparently, dark skins were violent and uneducated. Did people really think I would accept this? However, art taught me to step into another person's shoes and view the world through a different perspective. I learned that I should try to understand them. I learned that I should empathize with other ethnicities, races, cultures, sexualities, sexual identities, and philosophies. In fact, I delved so deeply into the acceptance of diversity that my art solely explored this idea of perspective. I drew dark-skinned women with bulging muscles just because I could. I drew boys in feminine poses and people of the same sex as couples. In my drawer of infinite sketches, you will find the girl saving the boy. You will find different pigments in my main character. You will find people breaking social norms. Art was enlightening, and I wanted to share it. Then I came across the internet. People do not appreciate art, or at least that applied to the people I knew. I guess they would rather spend a like on a 2-second bathroom photo than acknowledge a 5-hour painting. Maybe art was too disturbing for them. There are also others who are so much better than me. How was I supposed to be successful with art? I figured my best bet in life would be forgetting art and instead continue my long-term goal in attending Stanford University. But I eventually realized that by removing art from my life, I'd be taking every lesson I had learned and throwing it away. What happened to stepping into another person's shoes and viewing the world through someone else's eyes? Instead of being jealous of the enormous talent that others exhibited, I began to look up to them. They became my inspiration. Art taught me to be open-minded. I learned that it was okay to mix opposing colors like red and blue, because in the end, I'd have a beautiful piece with hues that work well together after all. I learned that it was okay to draw people as different shapes, and that natural beauty is a pure type of beauty. It was okay to draw certain emotions, feelings, and life into these characters. Everything I created were representations of how I viewed myself. I longed to be that dark-skinned woman with bulging muscles who beat up bad guys and saved those in distress, whether they are male or female. I still remember my very first time at an art museum. My family and I visited a secluded building in San Francisco for the Dubs Against the World exhibition, which displayed two hobbies in which I thoroughly indulged: art and basketball. Art made me feel appreciated. I got to meet artists and basketball commentators, and they took the time to appreciate my own work. For the first time, I had no fear of being judged. Even the Bay Area rapper Too Short and the world-famous dance crew, the Jabberwockies, were fans of my work. How did I end up here with so much love and gratitude? I was never really a popular kid in my elementary school. There are no bathroom pics in my Instagram account. I was a nerd who obsessed over video games, cartoons, and anime. Never did I expect myself at the age of 15 to be collaborating with big names. This is what art did for me. It popped my bubble of seclusion and opened me up to these diverse cultures. It taught me to embrace my own thoughts and emotions. From then on, whenever I pick up a pencil, pen, marker, crayon, chalk, brush, or charcoal, I let my mind wander. I like to learn from myself. I learned that we should not be ashamed of our thoughts. We should share them. We also need to listen to others and indulge in their ideas. Only then can we as humans become enlightened. We should not view ourselves as either born gifted or not gifted. Doing so will cause us to look at life through a blindfold and hamper reaching our fullest potential. True talent and skill is achieved through experience, patience, and listening. We need to keep our ears open and eyes peeled, and make sure to keep working. We need to find a hobby like art, video games, sports, or music, and then pursue it. Even if it does not take us to the Billboard Music Awards or the Masters Cup, we will always find value in our hobby and learn the most important life lessons through that experience. Ever since I'd picked up a generic number 2 pencil, I was granted the privilege to meet people from all over the world of different cultures, lifestyles, and ethnicities. Art taught me one of my most valued life lessons. Art taught me perspective.